Work for Replit. Replit is, our mission is to empower the next billion software engineers. We've got about 30 million so far, so 3% of the way there. But basically, Replit is a integrated development environment. So I'm going to show you how we enable engineers, or non-engineers, to not only build with Replit, but also leverage LLMs in their application. So we're going to build really quickly a quick Discord bot. So you open the website, you click create a REPL, and a REPL is basically like a container that you can do all of your development in. And so this is a little Discord bot template that we've got. It's got just a little bit of code. It's all very simple, copy from some documentation, and you can just dump in a secret. We manage all of your secrets for you. You hit run, and this starts up a little Discord bot that doesn't really do a whole lot that's very interesting. So for example, I can just send the hello message that's here, and the bot says hello back. Not very interesting. No one really cares about this at all. So let's make it a bit more interesting and show you how you can leverage some of the built-in features of Replit to easily access and leverage LLMs. So we just grab this little import here doing this one-handed is slightly more complicated than I expected. And we have Model Farm. So Model Farm manages all of your LLM calls. So we take care of the tokens. We take care of just sending you the bill. You don't have to worry about any setup. When you import a user package in Replit, we automatically handle all of the imports for you. It's all handled in the poetry file. And so we can do something like this. We can do, oops, sorry. We have code complete, so we're going to create use the text bison model, which is a model from Google. And then we are going to give it a prompt. There we go. And then it will hopefully, everything auto-completes. And we have an application that should run that will hopefully send us back a poem when we send it a message. So we can go, what is your favorite type of cat? And our bot automatically builds a response and sends us a very large poems about cats, and that's cool. Now, the issue with doing AI demos is that everything kind of doesn't work great all the time. So when I first prepared this demo to make sure it actually worked, it actually generated this max output tokens parameter. I'm an AI engineer, so I kind of know what tokens are, but I imagine that a lot of people using this for the first time aren't going to know what tokens actually are. So you can just grab a couple of lines of code and ask it to explain. So it generates this explanation about how all the code works, and then so it says the maximum length of the output text in tokens. So that's weird. I don't know why would we use tokens. So we can just click reply in chat, and then we can ask a question like, why use tokens instead of characters? And then the LLM responds and kind of explains why it uses this and helps you understand kind of like the code that's being generated. Now, and because Replit is a fully integrated development environment, we can also handle actually deploying your code into production for you without any issues. So at the moment I hit stop, this Discord bot stops working. So I say hello, there's nothing. But if I just hit deploy over here, hit set up my deployment, we've got some parameters, how much it's going to cost me, $13. Hit deploy. This is the part of the demo where everyone sits in silence for 2 minutes, watching a bar slowly slide across the screen. But I promise it'll work. So does anyone have any questions? We can sit in silence. I'm perfectly comfortable with this. In the back.
Only because no one else is asking anything. Would you please sponsor Better Internet at AGI House? Because if you try to use Replit during a hackathon there, their internet's so bad it's actually hard to chat.
So a fun fact about Replit is that we actually support a feature called offline Replit, where if you mail us a bit of code on a piece of paper, and it has to be handwritten, we have an engineer who will type it out into Replit, run it, and then send you back the output. So depending on your time, that might work for you. But you know, our engineers are very slow at typing.
What's the SLA for that? Will it be before?
The SLA, we're aiming to have 1.9 eventually, but PTO is just a nightmare when it comes to maintaining these things. All right, so this is building a Docker image. It's deploying it to a virtual machine. It's apparently waiting for that virtual machine to be stood up and ready.
Can I ask another question?
Yes, sorry.
I was wondering, so you said like the LLM will provide like explanation if I ask any question, right?
Yes.
I like the LLM like fact check. Would it be able to give wrong information? Is that like a possibility?
People will tell you that their LLM doesn't hallucinate, and I'm here to tell you that every LLM hallucinates. Some of them are just better at stopping it than others. So we put a lot of effort into managing the context of what we send the LLM, and that helps prevent it from hallucinating, but all LLMs hallucinate. I'm just being honest, yeah.
What's the coolest thing you've seen somebody make on Replit?
So we have a PM who basically monitors deployments and sees like what the really cool things are. Is it Zinus? Who's tried to buy a really cheap mattress off Amazon? Like I'm talking like the $80 ones. Their marketing team was deploying stuff on Replit. And it just worked. It was kind of weird. But yeah, not great mattresses, great marketing website.
We're at 5 minutes. We have
Okay,
two more
sorry.
questions. Or
2 more questions.
So my question is, how do you handle you make your prompts better to that model on hallucinate? How do you benchmark the improvement of the hallucination?
We use a provider called Braintrust, and we basically have built a test suite of answers where we've manually validated that they're good, and then we compare against that, and we use GPT-4 to compare against it. So we have an automated benchmark.
How is the big of the set of the validation on that?
We literally use GPT-4 to validate whether it's kind of correct or not.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is your model in-house or do you use a third-party provider?
All of the code complete is all run in-house. Third-party provider, everyone's a GPT-4 wrapper.
So you said that all these outputs are inferred by your own model?
Everything that was in chat was GPT-4. Everything that is like these suggestions that come up here, which isn't coming up for some reason. Yeah, this is all generated in-house. We train our own code completion models. Yep, sorry, that's it. Yes,
Thank
sorry.
you so much, Jay.